Alright, hi guys, welcome back to another video, finally. Kind of took like a little break from YouTube, but I am very happy to be back because I have so many video ideas because you guys gave me so many good ideas that you wanted to know about, so lots of videos coming, which I'm very excited about. And Archie's being very cuddly right now. It's definitely his nap time and he's kind of just like, Mom, let me go sit in the pillows behind you. But I thought I would do like a little mini series on breeders and Cavapoo breeders and basically like how to find the right breeder and questions you should ask. And I'm going to be having another video after this one. Oh my god, I don't know why I'm like winded. I was like trying to grab him to come up here. Anyway, I have another video coming after this one that is questions just for Archie's breeder. But today I'm just doing a general how to find a good Cavapoo breeder, things to look out for, all of that. Do you want to go lay back there? What are you doing? Okay, well, I'm gonna put him down. He's definitely just gonna go behind me.
You are so cute.
So, I wrote all of this down just so I wouldn't forget, because there's definitely a lot to go over when trying to find the right breeder. And trust me, when I was looking for Archie, I was just like, why can I not find a breeder that like I felt confident with, that I felt comfortable? And I just felt so lost. I like was searching everywhere and I'm like, oh my god, I was so frustrated. And I know that a lot of you guys feel that way as well because you have been leaving me comments below like trying to find the right breeder, and so I thought I would just give some helpful hints on how to find the right breeder basically. Okay, so let's see what I have written down. So when I was looking for Archie and to find a breeder for Archie, or to find a breeder, I started on Google and I just knew that I didn't want to go to a pet store, and I just like really didn't know any Cavapoo breeders in the US. I know that Cavapoos are super popular in some other countries and I just had no idea where to find one here. I just knew I really wanted one. So I started my Google search and basically I searched for like Cavapoo breeders in Arizona was like the first thing I searched, and I didn't find any that I felt comfortable with. But anyway, I just started Cavapoo breeders, Cavapoo puppies, like where to find a Cavapoo puppy. I googled literally everything and then I went through all of those pages. Normally I do not go through all of the Google search pages just because, I don't know, I feel like you don't need to, but when looking for a dog breeder, like you are gonna find those smaller breeders in those, in those pages that are farther down, so they're not gonna be that top one. Because if they are that top one, then like everybody's going there, you know? And so anyway, that's how I found my breeder. Is I started with a Google search, but some other things that you can do is you can ask your vet for recommendations. I know a lot of people do that, or post like on Facebook or Instagram like recommendations for a reputable breeder. And that is super nice to have like that word of mouth, because then you can ask them about their experience, see what their puppy looks like. It's just like nice. Word of mouth is like the best. So some things that I was looking for on the website is I wanted like, something I was noticing with a lot of the websites is that they were hard to move about and like the pictures were horrible. The information was just like all over the place and I just like felt not very comfortable with the situation. So I was looking for a clean, easy to like manage website where I can kind of get straight to the point, kind of know about the dogs and not get lost in all of like the other stuff that these websites had. So I was looking for pictures of the parents, the puppies, even like family pictures of the breeder were nice to see, pictures of like the home environment that they're living in. And then when you look at the picture, I always like looked at the background of the photo, kind of like what is the setup, where are they, does it look like a healthy, clean place? So once I found like 5 different breeders that I felt like pretty good with, and a lot of them I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see pricing on their website. Some of them would have their pricing, but a lot of them I didn't see pricing on them. So then I like reached out to all of these breeders and kind of just was like, hey, can I set up a call? Like, when are you gonna have puppies available? I have some questions for you. And then there was really only, I'm trying to think, only one, maybe there was another one that emailed me, but only one that like I actually talked to on the phone, which was so nice for a change because I just felt like really lost during this process, and that was where we got Archie. And just being able to talk or FaceTime is so nice. So when you do have those talks, here's some things that you might want to ask, or you can send us in an email, that's totally fine as well. But I just wanted to put down a few questions that you should be able to ask your breeder, and that way you can feel comfortable with where your puppy or where you're getting your puppy from. Okay, so the first one I have written down is basically just like general questions about the puppy. How old are they? When will they be ready to go home? What, I don't know, just like things about their puppy, like their personalities, anything along those lines. Really like basic question. The next one is asking about the buying process and pricing. When do you pay? How much is the deposit? Is there a health guarantee? Do you get to meet the dog before or see him on FaceTime? Anything along that lines. And then another one I wrote down is get curious about where these puppies are living right now. I think this is so important to know what their environment looks like. Do they get to spend time with their mom and their brothers and sisters? How many litters do they have at this time? So this is something that's really important. I always looked for a breeder that didn't have like a ton of litters available at one time, just because how are they able to manage all these puppies at once? Like, it's a huge responsibility to have one puppy, let alone like 10 litters. 10 litters might be excessive, although I know there are places that do have that, but like I just looked for a place that had like 1 to 2 to maybe maximum 3 litters at like one time. Just because I feel like if they have too many litters, 1, they're not taking care of them, and 2, there's a chance it could be a puppy mill, which you definitely do not want to support or get your dog from. Okay, so next question is to ask if you can meet or FaceTime. I know I kind of already mentioned that, but I thought that was super important because if they're like hesitant on meeting and getting like letting you come to their place or FaceTiming or showing you what the puppy's like real situation is right now, definitely a red flag. Definitely something to look out for. My breeder was so nice. Like I FaceTimed her a few times. I would call her. I annoyed her all the time. I still feel bad to this day, but like she would post videos and pictures and FaceTimes and keep us like all updated in the loop, which was so nice because you're just like so excited about your dog and you just want to see it and start that connection. Another good question to ask is their weaning process, and what importance do they place on that. So if you don't know what that means, that's like when they start to separate the puppy from the mom and when the puppy stops eating from the mom and all of that stuff. This is really important because this is, one, has to do with the puppy's health, how he's gonna do without his mom. So I thought it was important to me to have a puppy that had already been weaned off his mom for a little bit of time. That way I wasn't taking him home, taking him from his mom, and like overly stressing him all at once. But if he is weaned from his mom already when you get him, that way he's still in the same environment, but the mom has just been removed from the situation. So he's not totally just like thrown off of his like routine and schedule. There are a lot of health things and concerns around this topic, so I think it's like super important to ask about that. And let's see, the next question. So asking the puppy's parents' age. So they usually recommend not breeding puppies before they're 2 years old. So you want to make sure that they are following these guidelines and making sure that their dogs are super healthy and that they put importance on these dogs and not just like breeding and making money and just getting puppies out there. This one I thought was just really important to me. I don't know if other people will find this as important, but I asked if they raise their puppies inside. I guess I just don't understand that because I grew up with my dogs always living inside. Like, you can't even see them. Just like being a part of the family. And I live in Arizona and it's just so hot here, so I didn't want him to already be in this routine where he just wanted to be outside all the time because he would overheat. So just making sure that like these puppies were a part of their family and given that attention and not just like, you know, stuck outside because they were annoying. And then another last question I have written down to ask. Other things to ask would be like their experience with dog breeding, how they got into breeding, do they own both of the puppy parents, like kind of get really curious about like their situation, why are they breeding, how long have they been doing this, what do they know about breeding, what's their motivation behind it. I loved that we picked Archie's breeder because I felt like she was just a family person and, you know, she had lots of kids and they wanted to do this as like a family experience, I guess, which obviously you can make money from, but that's fine because they're taking care of the puppies, they're taking them to the vet, they're feeding them, they're you know, they deserve to have the money because of it. But I just wanted to make sure that this was like something that she was gonna be passionate about and not just there strictly for the money. So I wrote down a few other things to look for in a good breeder. There should be a puppy application. So I think it's important I know that you are probably a good parent if you're watching this, but you want to make sure that they're not just like giving these puppies out to anyone because that means they don't care. And that means they probably didn't care while taking care of your puppy. They don't care about their other dogs. And I just wouldn't want to give money to someone that doesn't care about their dogs. So I thought that was really important, and I know that a lot of adoption places do that, so I don't know why they wouldn't do that for places when you go and like purchase a puppy. Okay, and then another thing is that, I guess this is another question that I didn't put in the question part in my notes, but asking at what age these puppies get to go home at. So I found online puppies before 8 weeks have been shown to not be as healthy. It's not as healthy for the dog to go home before 8 weeks. They can show aggression towards other dogs, other humans, just not as easy to train, not as well behaved. There's just a lot of benefits to not going home until after 8 weeks. My breeder actually sends them home at 10 weeks, I believe. It's just really important for the dogs to spend lots of time with their puppies. The puppy to spend lots of time with its siblings and its litter mates and its parents. It's just really hard for them to separate, and doing it too young can have a lot of problems. Another thing to comment on is that wait lists are actually good. I know a lot of you guys comment on my videos being like, oh, I'm on a wait list, like I know it's worth it, but like it sucks, and it does suck. Like I hate waiting. I'm the most impatient person ever. But on the bright side, for a wait list, that usually means that they don't have a ton of puppies, you know, available at all times. So they are really taking care of each litter. They're taking care of the parents. They're not overbreeding. That's usually like a good sign to have a wait list. Now it's not bad if like, oh, they have one available and like, you know, take the spot, but like if they just have puppies available at all times, kind of makes you question, and it's definitely a red flag. So I know wait lists are annoying, but I promise it's a good sign. It's okay. Like they are taking their time to breed and making sure that they're doing it right and just not like overworking the moms or the dads, and all of that. Okay, and then another thing to keep an eye out, so another red flag would be that to look out for breeders that breed a ton of different puppies. Hi, sweetie. So if they're breeding like German Shepherds and like Cavapoos and then like, I don't even know, Shih Tzus and then Irish, I don't know, whatever, like all these different breeds that are totally not related, that means that they probably have a lot of dogs, and it's probably more of a puppy mill setup. Now that might not always be true, but that is just something to be aware of. And just like I said before, if they have too many puppies and too many litters at one time, it's a lot of work to take care of all these puppies. So, you know, they might not be giving that one-on-one attention that you're probably looking for. Some other things to avoid would be Craigslist. There's just not always the best things on Craigslist. People usually abuse their dogs and then like the puppies, and they just aren't the best breeders. Now, it might not always be true, obviously, but just be super aware of what you're doing on there and ask all those good questions so that you know what kind of dog you're getting in the situation that it's coming from. And then try to avoid dog stores. The hard reality of it is that a lot of puppies from dog stores do come from puppy mills and breeders that just, I don't know. I don't want to say anything bad, but just be aware of where your dog comes from. It's so important. It's so important to make sure it comes from a good home, a healthy home, a happy home, a home that cares about him. Archie's breeder still checks on him all the time, which is so amazing. So it's so worth it to make sure that your dog is coming from the right place. Okay, so I know a lot of you guys are probably hoping that I was just like giving out breeders that are the best option, but honestly, I was going to try to add that to the end of this video, and I looked around for a while and I really struggled because I wasn't gonna call all of them and waste their time because I'm not buying. And so I would just take all of this advice and do your own research. It is so worth it. Please put in the time to find the right breeder. I promise it will be worth it and that you will find the perfect puppy, but don't rush it. Finding a good breeder is so important and so key to a happy, healthy dog, and I'm just so glad that I took the time to do that and find Archie, and I just feel like you will find the right breeder and it will happen at the right time and it will all be worth it. So just be patient, get on those wait lists, ask those awkward questions. And something else that I want to add in there is if they're not willing to answer all of these weird questions, or if they're like seeming hesitant or kind of like, oh, why are you asking these questions? Like, oh my god, like they're probably doing something that you might not agree with, that might make you uncomfortable, that probably isn't ethical. So just trust your gut and kind of listen to how they're responding. If somebody's like totally open and like, yeah, like this is a situation, like here's the truth, like, you know, lays it all out for you, then like that's awesome, and that's probably a really good breeder. And I don't know, just really ask those questions. I know it's uncomfortable, but it's worth it, I promise you. Alright, buddy, do you want to say bye to him? It's like, Mom, it's literally my nap time. Like, no. Okay, well, I'll leave him there. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I know that there's probably so many other things that I missed when finding a good breeder because I haven't looked in a long time. I guess not that long, but it's been 1.5 years since I've looked. So if you have any other tips, please leave them in the comments below. I know everyone else could really use some other examples because I'm sure I missed some things. Also, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I try to answer everyone's questions. Obviously, like, I don't have an answer for everything, but I will give you my best advice. And I don't know, I just love reading everyone's comments because everyone is so nice and they have such good questions, and it's just like such a good community that we've got going. So I've been enjoying making these videos and I'm happy to be back and making them for you guys. So anyway, please be sure to subscribe and like this video. Like I said, I have a part 2 coming from this video, so that will be coming out probably very shortly, very quickly. I don't know if that made sense. Anyway, it will be coming out soon, so just keep an eye out for that if you want to know more about Cavapoo breeders and about Archie's breeder. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.